The DC Jazz Festival runs August 27th through August 31st and will feature 5 days of concerts in neighborhoods citywide with performances by Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, Ron Carter, the Emmett Cohen Trio, and many more outstanding artists. WBGO is a proud partner of the DC Jazz Festival. The 2025 DC Jazz Prix, well, the finalists are gearing up for the Saturday, August 30th competition at Union Stage. It's part of the festival, and it's the 10th year of recognizing and supporting top emerging jazz ensembles. Once again, it runs from the 27th of August through the 31st. The winning band in the DC Jazz Prix will receive a $15,000 grand prize, a main stage performance at DC Jazz Fest 2026, and begin a year-long association with the DC Jazz Festival, including customized business development and career technical assistance. And this year's DC Jazz Prix finalists include Canadian pianist Jenny Hsu of Friendship. Jenny, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dave Meter, New American Hymnal Quartet. Dave hails from Denton, Texas right now. Dave, thanks for joining us on the WBGO Journal.
Thank you.
And Dion Kerr of the Smoogies, the bassist. We're so glad you could join us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
The other finalist is Jose Luis Martins from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and he now is doing his work in Washington, D.C., so it's certainly a homecoming for him. His band featuring flautist and vocalist Alex Hamburger, bassist Ramir Mendez, and drummer Dana Hawkins, and we wish him the best in the competition as well. For you, Jenny, you've been involved in many different competitions, including the Herbie Hancock Institute International Jazz Piano Competition, formerly the Thelonious Monk Piano Competition. Why is this one different for you?
Oh, it's absolutely different because for the first time, I get to compete in my band, which is the primary artistic thing that I do. So the other competitions I've done, obviously, they've had different accompanists on bass and drums. So I'm just really thrilled to actually get to present what it is that, what is my main focus artistically, in front of like such a renowned jazz festival. So that makes it very different.
People can certainly go on the website and go on YouTube and see you playing Duke Ellington's composition, I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good. Duke Ellington, an inspiration for you?
I would say definitely as far as like his band leading and arranging and his compositions, among many, many pianists, he's definitely who I consider the most pivotal figure of the swing era. So I think he's a big influence for everyone who plays jazz.
Dion, as part of the Smoogies, why is this DC competition especially important to you?
I think it's unique to have a band competition where you can bring your whole group, and it's different from other things where a lot of other competitions are more solo based. So just being able to represent South Florida and bring this wave of music that we're calling people music to DC, it just sounds like such a great opportunity, and we're like beyond stoked to be a part of it.
Talk about the fact that your group is all about diversity and reaching everyone. Talk about the philosophy for the Smoogies.
Well, we got our sound just, drawing from so many of the cultures and soundscapes of South Florida. Um, and each one of us represents something different in the band. And just the combination of all of our different styles and influences spans over so many different genres and styles. So we're really coming from four different backgrounds, and that's where the name originated. The Smoogies, one of our drummers, kind of coined the name because his grandma used to call smoothies smoogies. So he's like, this is like a musical smoothie band. But we've all known each other for many years, just growing up in the scene in South Florida and Miami. So I've known those guys since I was 18 years old, and we just have a very deep history of playing music. And we also serve backing members to a lot of different artists as well in different combinations. But this was our chance to form a band together and finally like put something on the map that this is ours. We're not just sidemen because we're all rhythm section players. So it's just a special band, and we're really trying to put South Florida on the map.
Yeah, what's special about the Smoogies, how all of you are accomplished musicians in your own right and have been able to join together and make it work as the Smoogies. Dave Meter, you performed live with violinist Scott Tixier as part of WBGO's live concert series at the Yamaha Studios back in 2021. So some of our listeners are familiar with your work, recognized in the Thelonious Monk International Jazz Piano Competition and many others. Why is this different for you?
Well, I think as has been said already, it's really cool to see a competition for a band. I mean, competitions are going to be what they're going to be, uh, but it's really cool to actually have an opportunity and an incentive to develop something as a band.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What inspires you to play the piano? When did you start? And who do you admire the most?
I started when I was 8. I'm in my mid 30s now, but recently, well, I mean, for a long time, I think my main inspirations have been Bud Powell and Ahmad Jamal and Errol Garner. And of course, people, I mean, people I've had the pleasure of studying with. I had the great fortune to study with Kenny Barron and Fred Hirsch when I used to live in New York. So it all it all gets in there.
I get the idea that you're an old soul, Dave.
um, I feel like one. Well, I feel physically old.
No, but the people that you're talking about, the greats of the past, it's always wonderful when we see emerging artists connect with the legends, and that's what you're doing.
I would say I've been very lucky to do that. I mean, I think I don't take that for granted. I'm teaching students now, and they don't get that, And so I mean, it's a sobering realization.
Dion, performing live is nothing new for the Smoogies, but in this type of setting where you have a panel of judges, looking for certain things, is there more of an anxiety for the group, or this is just another gig?
I think we're looking at this just as another gig in the sense that we just want to show up and play our best and just do what we always do and just try to put on the best show we can and get the crowd hypes. Um, just being surrounded by these other amazing musicians, I already feel like whoever wins is well deserving of it. So I don't think there's any disappointment, even if we don't win, or if we do. We just want to go out and just represent our sound and represent our band, and we're obviously in great company. So I think it's just we just want to bring our vibe and just hopefully get that across and have people receive that.
When I spoke to the finalists of the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition, we talked about how some of you know each other, but you don't know everybody in this competition. There could be new alliances formed, there could be new friendships formed. Are you looking forward to that?
For sure, 100%.
Jenny, the same for you. The fact that you come to this competition and you have all this experience, but being live on stage before this huge audience, knowing what's at stake, and what's at stake is a lot when it comes to this competition. There's $15,000 on the table for the winner of this competition, and it means an opportunity to perform at the festival and be one of the headliners at some point. Is there pressure for you?
I mean, all of that is, fabulous, but um, pressure wise, I actually would say not really. I mean, it's already such a big win to be involved in a part of the competition as a festive as a finalist. And I was gonna say that every time I get to play with my band, that's a win, you know. So I'm just really looking forward to this opportunity to showcase us and be on stage up with these two guys. They're my best friends, hence why we're called Friendship. So just really, really, really looking forward to taking the stage and just sharing our music.
I'm going to have all three of you, starting with you, Jenny, talk about the other members of the group and why, what makes them special. So we'll start off with you and Friendship.
Yeah, I mean, well, these are my two favorite musicians to play with outright. Out of anyone alive, I wouldn't choose anybody else to be in my band but them. And are they they were my closest friends. Well, now I married my bassist Ben. Uh, So we're even closer than that now. And Kofi was the ring bearer at our wedding. But they're just so highly virtuosic on their instruments. And not only that, they play with so much feel and heart. And I can just, because all of the compositions in our band are written by me. But it might as well be for the band. Like I tell everyone I don't play Friendship tunes on any of my other gigs. Like it has to be with the members of Friendship because no one else but these two quite lends the right sound to it. And I believe it's because we really unite and behind the emotional messages and the philosophical messages of the music. So just to have these like tremendous talents on the bass and the drums backing me and us unified in the message that we send forward. There's just fewer things in life that I think are more powerful or gratifying or fulfilling. But I have to say, like Ben and Kofi, they just play like they were born to play their instruments. I wouldn't say that about myself, but I'd say that about them. Like I just never knew anyone who was more meant to be a drummer than Kofi, or anyone more meant to be a bassist than my husband Ben, who actually he just finished his master's at Juilliard this past May, and I don't know how he did it, but he got straight A's every semester while being a terrific husband who meal preps and takes care of me at home. And Kofi's also an incredible cook. I always see his like stories where he's like grilling really incredible cuts of meat. And so I don't know, just phenomenal human beings, phenomenal friends, phenomenal instrumentalists. I just couldn't like I feel like the luckiest girl in the world I'm in my band.
I'm always fascinated with couples that are, that work together as musicians. I just spoke with April May Webb, who won the Sarah Vaughan vocal competition in 2024. Her and her husband, Randall Haywood, are part of Sounds and A&R. Of course, we have Dan Pugach, who was just on the WBGO Journal, the Grammy Award-winning drummer, works with his wife, Grammy Award-winning singer Nicole Zaritis. How did this relationship grow? I mean, just friends, and then all of a sudden became more? We got to get the scoop on this, Jenny.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first formed the band, Ben and Kofi were freshmen at the Manhattan School of Music, and this was 2018, and they were roommates. And it was just kind of haphazardly formed. I was like, I want to record some tunes, and Kofi was there. Him and I were friends first, and I was like, okay, Kofi's roommate, you play the bass. You're playing on this too. I don't even care how good you sound. We're just gonna play some music. And it accidentally wound up sounding really, really good. We were close friends for 2 years, went on tour together. He saw me wear the same sweatpants for 5 days straight, all that. And he was in another relationship actually when I first met Ben. And then they broke up like April of 2020. And then everything went into, was already in lockdown, as you'll remember. And I was basically completely isolated in New York City, apart from virtual teaching. Like along with everyone, we all kind of lost our gigs. And so Ben and I would just like call on the phone for hours a day just to initially talk about our first album, which we released October of 2020. But then, the conversations grew longer, encompassing more and more things. And then he got back to the city in September of 2020. And then in October, that's when we got together, and then we got married at City Hall 2 years later.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very whirlwind.
Dave Meter, New American Hymnal Quartet, Denton, Texas based. Tell us about your band members, Dave.
Well, two of us, so half the group is here in Denton, Texas. Myself and Philip Dizek, a really great trumpet player. But actually, we were in New York at the same time, but we didn't really meet and start playing together until we both ended up here in little old Denton, Texas, teaching at UNT. So, but the rhythm section is based in New York City. It's Marty Jaffe on bass and Michael Pilot on drums. And I met them over a decade, almost a decade and a half ago now. We met at the Ravinia Steens Institute, which was a summer workshop. At the time, it was led by David Baker, who has since passed, but we played together for about a week and a half there as I guess we were in high school at the time. And I really, I have never found a rhythm section that I hit it off with as much as the two of them. Much like what Jenny was saying, it's really hard to play my own music with anyone else. I mean, I tried it like most of us have to do because of the economics of touring but I'm to a point now where sometimes I would rather not tour if I can't get Marty and Mike. So it's been really a nice ride with them, and we're thankful to be a part of this.
You mentioned you're an educator. Why do you do that, Dave?
Well, I've always done it. That's why I've never been a believer in the statement "those who can't do teach." I mean, teaching has been a part of my artistic practice since I was in high school. I've never saw myself as anything else. It's not a split identity for me. It's a part of my artistry.
Dion, tell us a little bit more about the Smoogies.
Well, this band is, each member is a prolific musician and writer composer themselves, and are backing sideman to a lot of like the most prominent musicians even touring out today. Like Harvell is currently out with Godwin Louis and plays in ATN Charles's band. Dave Shiverton is currently on tour with Jill Scott. I just saw Vaughn in New York with Ghost Note, and last year was touring with Kirk Franklin. So these guys are some of the best rhythm section musicians I've ever known, and they're just all incredible artists, writers, and composers. And we're like best friends. We all, from South Florida. They're all from Miami, and we grew up, playing music together since we were 18 and becoming adults. And just, this band formed out of us jamming together. We had no music. We hosted this weekly jam session called The Hangout. And we would just get together and just improvise completely. I'd have an upright bass, an electric bass. We'd have an organ and a piano. We would call tunes like standards, and then we go into, just like vamps and stuff. And we played all types of genres, all types of music, even going into classical realms and stuff. So this band has formed over those jam sessions. And then finally, after hosting this session for a year, we're like, we have to put a name to this. We have to make this a group, because we were just the house rhythm section, and we'd have horn players and, singers come and whatnot. But we're like, this rhythm section should be the band itself. And we just wanted to put the spotlight on the rhythm section. So that's why we don't have a technical, like a front man or a front person singing or playing horn. But these musicians, they're some of the best people I know, some of my best friends. When we get together and play music, it's like we're just hanging out, which is why we call it the Hangout, because we can read each other's mind when it comes to music. All of our records, nothing is written down. We don't have any sheet music. No one else, I don't even think, could play this music, because it's all just in our heads. yeah, we've never written a single thing down. It's like we just came up with the stuff by ear. Everything's by ear, and we just constantly making it new and changing things, and it's just all on the fly with us. We just have that musical uh brotherhood, I guess, with each other. We're just all in it. We can read each other's mind, and it always just feels good when we play together.
What a great way to spend your life, right? Playing
Yeah.
music with your friends. A lot of jazz musicians don't start off with the instrument that they end up with. Is that the case for you? Have you always been playing the bass?
I actually started playing like classical piano when I was younger, and I'm coming out of a musical family. My father was a guitarist. My older brother is an amazing drummer and has toured the world as well. So um, I took a lot from that. Like I played guitar, bass, piano, and drums growing up, and I was actually just on the drum line in high school. I didn't even play bass in high school. I just went to a regular um, public high school, and I was on the drum line all 4 years playing bass drum, the quads, and then snare, and then applied to university on bass. But I was just taking some private lessons outside and just fell in love with Jocko and started getting into jazz and playing upright bass and was self-taught uh, with assistance from my father and people around me and my brother and stuff.
That's fantastic. The other finalist, Jose Luis Martins, is I mentioned hailing from the vibrant city of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Pianist, composer, producer based in the Washington, D.C. area. So he'll be excited to perform at this D.C. Jazz Fest, celebrated for his innovative approach and deeply expressive music. I mentioned at the top of this interview, because you're all unique artists, to me, I'm glad I'm not a judge. And you've kind of mentioned this. I know you mentioned it, Dion, and this was the response that I got when I talked to the Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition finalists is winning is great, but it's to be honored by being a finalist and being a part of this special concert on Saturday, August 30th. So congratulations to all of you when it comes to that. Dave, will there be a special number that you especially look forward to presenting on that night?
I'm excited about everything we're going to present, and we're still working it out. But it's hard because we got to cull everything down to 20 minutes, I think. So it's a programming challenge, but a good one.
Yeah, that's a good point, is that you are under time constraints, so there's only so much you can do. What do you want the judges to feel with your music? What is it about your piano playing and the quartet that you want to make sure that they know?
Well, I mean, New American Hymnal, broadly speaking, it's my music, but uh, um, much like in the model of Duke Ellington and other band leaders, it's hard to imagine anybody else playing it. Uh, but New American Hymnal is broadly about questions surrounding American values, American civic culture, American civic religion, like who we are as a people, which is something we seem to have been grappling with for forever, really, but especially now. So, um, I hope it's music that makes people feel good, but it's not inherently designed as feel good music. It's what it is, but I think it conjures up a range of emotions and thoughts and critical thinking at the end, I hope.
Jenny Chu, you are a graduate of the Berklee College of Music, and recently we've talked a lot about that institution because a new book is out about um, the person who was named Lee Burke after the college is named. The story of his life is now out. What was it like for you at Berkeley?
Uh, Berkeley was, wow. Again, it was a very whirlwind, overwhelming experience. I accelerated my degree, so I got in and out 2014 through 2016, and um, I would say that, it was a great place to do my undergraduate studies because, you start off and you're 18, like I was this kid, and I just got to explore so many different genres of music I didn't even know existed. I had no idea like the gospel tradition could be so cool, and that was one thing I discovered there was just there were insane gospel musicians who started off playing piano in the church, and just that tradition and those harmonies, and that approach to piano playing was vastly different from how I grew up, as a Chinese immigrant in Vancouver, BC, studying classical piano. So I just got exposed to so many incredible kinds of music, Indian classical music as well. The Indian music ensemble at Berkeley is phenomenal, and like Takadimi, there were just all these things I had no idea existed before that school, and I got to dabble in a lot of different majors from like jazz comp to composition and production, as well as even some film scoring. And it really helped me uh, whittle down exactly what I wanted to pursue for my graduate studies. So after all of that rapid whirlwind exposure to like everything under the sun, I was like, okay, yeah, I do just want to do jazz performance, but I'm glad I got to try and, eliminate the other options.
We only have a couple minutes left in this interview, but is there a specific tune that you were looking forward to presenting on the 30th?
Same answer as Dave. I'm just so excited for all our tunes. We just released our third album, like literally a month and a day ago. And so we have one tune from album one tune from album two, and one tune from album three. And again, we have a lot of repertoire as Friendship. And it was hard to whittle down exactly what we wanted to represent ourselves, but I'm very happy with the final set we've decided on.
That's wonderful. Dion Kerr, I'll ask you the same question, but for you, I think you're going to feel the vibe, right? You're going to feel the
Mhm.
vibe that the room presents.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna play stuff from both of our records out, and we just released a live record, so we're definitely choosing the stuff that feels like those were the hits of each of our record. Since we only have 20 minutes, so we're just gonna, pick our best songs from each of our records, and I think that's what's gonna be our set.
Dion, thanks for joining us today, and good luck and continued success.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Dion Kerr of the Smoogies. Dave Meter, it's been wonderful to have you back at WBGO. Congratulations on all your success as well. Good luck in the competition, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Jenny Shu, once again, first of all, never hurts to celebrate life with your partner, right? On stage, you and your husband, Ben. So, congratulations that you're able to experience that as well. Good luck in the competition on the 30th of August, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, Douglas. It was such a pleasure meeting you and being a part of this.
And good luck to all of you. And I hope that you have a wonderful time, and I know you will, and the audience will be the winners of that competition, that's for sure.